Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero are set to fight in May, and the trash talk has already begun. While many see this as an easy win for Garcia, fans overlook that he's been inactive and rusty. Time away from the ring could affect his performance, making this matchup more competitive than expected. Romero might have a better chance than people think.
Hey, bro, let's run it back. Yo, nigga, jump that nigga now, bro. Jump that nigga now. Jump that nigga now, bro.
Rolly Romero, on the other hand, is determined to prove everyone wrong and put up a strong challenge. Talks of a potential Ryan Garcia versus Romero fight started after Garcia delivered a stunning knockout of Oscar Duarte at a 143-pound catchweight in Houston, Texas. With Garcia coming off a highlight reel finish and Romero eager to make a statement, this matchup is shaping up to be an exciting showdown.
Respond to that.
I'm with Al Heyman. Ryan Garcia's biggest fight was with Al Heyman. The most money he ever made was with Al Heyman, and then he goes back and fights for crumbs on a shitty TV network.
It didn't take long for Ryan "King Rye" Garcia to push for his next fight, calling out and taking shots at WBA junior welterweight champion Rolando "Rolly" Romero. "I'm committed to becoming a world champion," Garcia told DAZN's Chris Mannix after his 8th-round knockout of Oscar Duarte. "If Rolly wants that, bring it on. Rolly, I know you talk a lot. Let's get it going. Where are you at? You got beat up by that old dude." Garcia was referring to 40-year-old Ismael Barroso, whom Romero defeated months earlier to win the WBA title in a fight that proved tougher than expected. Now, Garcia is eager to test Romero and take the belt for himself.
Heyman offered me a way better deal. Al Heyman's the best in boxing, and hands down, all of us Al Heyman fighters are living great. Ain't one of us.
The build-up to a Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero fight promises to be pure entertainment. However, King Rye sees more than just the spectacle. He believes a victory over Romero could position him for bigger fights against Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney in the 140-pound division. While Imantas Stanionis holds the full WBA welterweight title at 147 pounds, **Ring Magazine ** reports that Garcia and Romero will battle for a WBA welterweight belt as well. The specifics remain unclear, though it's likely the lesser-regarded WBA regular title. There's been no confirmation from the WBA on whether Stanionis will be stripped. The undefeated Lithuanian is set to defend his black and gold belt in a welterweight unification bout against IBF champion Jaron "Boots" Ennis on April 12, leaving the situation with Garcia and Romero uncertain.
I know the kid really well. This isn't a joke. Y'all need to be there for him because he's going through it, and it's the truth.
Imantas Stanionis won the WBA regular title in April 2022 while Terence Crawford held the primary belt. When Crawford vacated to move up to super welterweight, Stanionis was elevated to full world champion. Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero could follow the same path if the Ennis-Stanionis winner chooses to vacate. Garcia faces Romero in May at New York City's Times Square, sharing the card with his fierce rival, Devin Haney, who fights Jose Ramirez. If both Garcia and Haney win, the plan is for them to rematch in October in Saudi Arabia, setting up one of the biggest showdowns in boxing.
Bring on Rolly. You know, he's part of PBC. We already ran it once with PBC. I didn't get my get back. So I'm going to beat Rolly. And we're going to have that. Just pray to God. Pray to God.
Last April, Ryan Garcia dropped Devin Haney 3 times en route to a majority decision win. However, the victory was later overturned to a no contest after Garcia tested positive for a banned substance. As a result, he received a 1-year suspension from the New York State Athletic Commission, which ends on April 20, 2025. To regain his license, Garcia must submit a clean drug test. Both he and Haney have signed multi-fight agreements with Riyadh Season. Additionally, Garcia has enrolled in the VADA drug testing pool, a key requirement from Haney to finalize their rematch. If all goes according to plan, their highly anticipated showdown could take place later this year.
Trying to see where he was guiding me, and he just led me to Dallas, led me to Derek, and I pursued it, and I'm here now and I feel good.
Ryan Garcia had previously questioned VADA's credibility, but has since committed to their random drug testing program. In addition to VADA testing, he will also undergo random tests conducted by agents contracted through the California State Athletic Commission. While his fight against Rolly Romero is considered a tune-up, some argue it's unfair to have Romero as the B-side of a pay-per-view event given his recent record. Officially, Romero is 2-2 in his last 4 fights, but many believe it should be 1-3 due to his controversial win over Ismael Barroso. In their May 13, 2023 clash, referee Tony Weeks stopped the fight in the 9th round, a decision widely criticized as premature. Despite the controversy, Garcia versus Romero remains a high-profile matchup, setting the stage for bigger fights ahead.
I want to tell everybody just thanks for coming out and honestly,
Rolly Romero had thrown 4 wild punches, all missing badly, when referee Tony Weeks suddenly waved off the fight. Barroso, unhurt and standing, looked at Weeks in disbelief as if to say, "What are you doing?" Fans were shocked, and the controversial stoppage drew criticism for months. At the time, Romero was trailing on the scorecards and appeared to be on his way to losing. With so many deserving contenders in the 140 and 147-pound top 15 rankings, many believe a more worthy opponent should have faced Ryan Garcia on May 2 instead of Romero.
You did take more punches than you thought you would, so what went wrong during this fight?
It seems like the priority was simply finding an opponent, and Rolly Romero fit the bill. Given that this is a pay-per-view event, a better choice would have been Jose Ramirez as Ryan Garcia's opponent in the main event, with Garcia versus Haney as the co-feature. Even in that spot, Romero wouldn't be the right fit. However, Haney is coming off a tough fight where he was knocked down 3 times. He needs an easier opponent like Romero to ensure he doesn't suffer another devastating loss. This matchmaking feels more about convenience than truly competitive fights for the fans.
Well, I would love to know. I saw that Ryan Garcia posted yesterday if he was kind of questioning your decision of choosing to fight Cruz when he said you could have made more with him. Tell me a little bit about how you would respond.
If the goal is to protect Ryan Garcia from a loss before his October rematch with Haney, then Rolly Romero is the perfect opponent. With his flaws and recent struggles, Romero poses little threat, making him an ideal choice to keep Garcia on track for the highly anticipated showdown.
I mean, I hope he keeps training with Derek James. That shoulder roll, that's amazing. It was a good performance. Yeah.
Rolando Rolly Romero landed the May 2 fight against Ryan Garcia after Isaac Pitbull Cruz declined due to a prior commitment. Cruz is set to face Angel Fierro on February 1 and preferred to focus on that fight before negotiating another. This gives Romero a golden opportunity to upset a ring-rusty Garcia on Turki Alalshik's Times Square card in New York City. However, many fans were hoping for Garcia versus Cruz, believing it would have been a far more exciting and competitive matchup than Romero.
Trying to see where he was guiding me, and it just led me to Dallas, led me to Derek, and I pursued it, and I'm here now, and I feel good. I feel,
It's unclear if other fighters were available, but the 140-pound division is stacked with more talented options than Rolly Romero. Fans would have preferred to see a stronger opponent for Ryan Garcia. Romero is not an ideal matchup for Garcia, especially since he was knocked out by Isaac Pitbull Cruz in the 8th round on March 30 last year. He's a lower-tier fighter with limited ability and doesn't belong in the main event of Turki Alalshik's May 2 card. Romero rebounded from that loss with a 10-round unanimous decision win over Manuel James on September 14, fighting on the undercard of Canelo Alvarez versus Edgar Berlanga, but he remains an underwhelming choice for this fight.
the only fight I care about right now is Ryan Garcia. And then the winner between that and me and Ryan gets Gervonta Davis. We're going to do this all on pay-per-view, on Showtime pay-per-view. We're going to do this shit, all right? Like I said, at the end of it, I got the belt. I make the show.
Rolly Romero didn't perform well in his last fight, but he had an easy opponent. Using him as Ryan Garcia's opponent for a DAZN pay-per-view headliner is a poor choice. Initially, Garcia wanted a fight with champion Isaac Pitbull Cruz, even taunting his skills. "You don't know boxing if you think Pitbull Cruz would beat me," Garcia said. I face so many fighters like him, it would be a field day. I'd put Pitbull Cruz to sleep. You guys are delusional. However, Garcia ultimately shifted focus, saying he'd handle Cruz easily after his rematch with Devin Haney if given the chance.
Willing to fight anybody as long as both parties come to an agreement. If his side comes to an agreement with my side and everything works out, then I have no problem fighting with him or anyone else.
Isaac Pitbull Cruz wasn't impressed by Ryan Garcia's thrilling 3-knockdown victory over previously undefeated Devin Haney last year. Instead, the WBA 140-pound champion focused more on Garcia missing weight by 3.2 pounds at the weigh-in, dismissing him as frivolous and lacking discipline. Ryan Garcia doesn't take things seriously, Cruz said while in Manhattan, New York, to formally announce his first title defense. He's set to face a fellow Mexican challenger for his WBA belt in Los Angeles on a stacked card, headlined by a pound-for-pound king against a former world super welterweight champion from Uzbekistan. Even at the weigh-in, he comes in overweight by 3 pounds, Cruz told reporters after the press conference. His comments reflect growing skepticism about Garcia's professionalism, with many wondering if he can stay disciplined enough to secure major fights in the future, including a potential showdown with Cruz himself.
Pues igual, a mí no me importa la carrera de los demás, yo me enfoco en lo mío y yo me estoy preparando para conseguir.
He doesn't take anything seriously. He needs to focus more on training and be more disciplined, Isaac Pitbull Cruz said of Ryan Garcia. Garcia called out Cruz after his win over Devin Haney, but Cruz wasn't surprised. It's not the first time, he said it many times. I'm ready, and I want to fight him. Cruz recently dominated Rolly Romero, securing an 8th-round TKO to claim the WBA belt, while Jose Valenzuela scored a highlight reel 6th-round knockout over Chris Colbert in their December rematch.
And you wanted it?
I think they pay good enough money that these guys are going to say yes. So that's what I think.
Now, you're going to take over Times Square in New York.
Yeah.
The entire world will It's never been done before.
Yeah.
Whatever Turkey does is massive. Tell me the things when you came up with that idea. And
There are rumors that Isaac Pitbull Cruz could face Gervonta Tank Davis later this year in a rematch of their thrilling 2021 fight, where Davis won a close decision. If Cruz defeats Jose Valenzuela, he's open to that fight and others. I'm ready to fight anyone, Cruz said. I'll listen to my team and make the best decision. However, facing Cruz is a major risk for Ryan Garcia. A loss to the tough Mexican fighter would severely hurt Garcia's chances of securing a high-profile rematch with Davis, making the stakes even higher for his next move.
I think everybody could watch whoever's there, so that's pretty cool.
now, Pitbull, very dangerous fight. You actually posted today that he's going to be tougher than a rematch with Haney, and I agree with you.
Yeah,
Why did
I
you
mean
say that?
tougher as in
Ryan Garcia has admitted his main goal is a rematch with Gervonta Tank Davis at 140 pounds, believing he wasn't at his best in their first fight. The 136-pound catchweight and 10-pound rehydration clause fueled claims that he was weight-drained. Since Jose Valenzuela has already beaten Isaac Pitbull Cruz, losing to Cruz would hurt Garcia's stock even more. However, facing the experienced Cruz could help Garcia prepare for his rematch with Devin Haney. Meanwhile, Blair Cobbs interrupted Garcia's interview, seizing the moment to make a request from the rising star.
Have you sparred Ryan before?
Huh?
Have you sparred Ryan before?
Yeah.
And what do you have to say about that and then possibly fighting him?
He was
Blair Cobbs and Ryan Garcia once shared a friendly bond during their time at Golden Boy Promotions, but their relationship soared when Garcia supported Cobbs' opponent, Adrian Broner, in their fight earlier this year. However, it seems they've made amends. During an interview, Garcia spotted Cobbs and exclaimed, "My boy," as Blair the Flair jumped into the conversation, showing that their past differences may now be behind them.
A very interesting fighter. There was two things that happened in the fight, in this sparring. One, I got knocked down from the I didn't know who he was.
Blair Cobbs immediately began praising Ryan Garcia, calling him King Ryan and hyping up an ultimate showdown. He then made a direct request, saying, "But you know something? Please knock this idiot out. I'm tired of this stuff," expressing his frustration with certain antics. Without hesitation, Garcia assured his friend that it would be done, telling him there was nothing to worry about. Shortly after, an interviewer brought up a recent comment from an opponent, stating that they were fully prepared for Garcia's powerful left hook, setting the stage for more anticipation around his next fight.
So I didn't know that he had a weapon. And I'm like, what's this weird hook that you keep throwing? Like, oh, boom, okay. And then the second thing that happened is the stoppage. I stopped.
Before Ryan Garcia could respond, Blair Cobbs quickly jumped to his defense, dismissing the idea that his opponent could figure out his left hook. Hell no, he ain't ready for that stuff. Idiot, what the hell? I wasn't even ready, Cobbs said, recalling his past sparring sessions with Garcia. Interestingly, this contradicts Cobbs' previous statements. After his win over Adrian Broner, he openly challenged Garcia, suggesting he was ready to face him in the ring, despite his earlier praise.
I worked him, I beat him down, and took away his weapon completely, and went to work like an immigrant. You know,
We have a little history together. I made you quit in sparring, Blair Cobbs claimed. Yeah, I got knocked down, but I got up and made you quit. I made you look like a fool, suggesting their sessions weren't as one-sided as Ryan Garcia implied. Despite past tensions, it seems the two have reconciled ahead of Garcia's upcoming fight. Meanwhile, MP Promotions president Sean Gibbons, who represents tough Mexican fighter Isaac Cruz, believes Cruz deserves the next shot at junior welterweight star Garcia, as the two have traded words for some time.
And I wish to be a world championship, and that will be happening. That's my focus.
We said we want to fight. We want to fight Ryan. We want to fight Rolly. We want to fight anybody.
Ryan Garcia previously called for a fight with Isaac Cruz, but it never materialized. Currently, Garcia is focused on securing a bout with former undisputed lightweight champion Devin Haney. However, Sean Gibbons believes a Garcia versus Cruz showdown would be a much bigger event. For 2 years, Ryan has called out Cruz, talked trash, and accused him of ducking, but he should know boxing is a business, Gibbons told Betway.
Anybody but Shakur Stevens. I'm happy you retired. Thank God. And, Shakur's a great fighter, but with a style like Esau Cruz, the guy, he would be running worse than Rigondeaux.
Boxing is about entertainment, but it's also about getting paid. Everyone knows timing is key, and suddenly, everything is lined up perfectly, said Sean Gibbons. Manny Pacquiao wants to see Isaac Pitbull Cruz fight Ryan Garcia, while Floyd Mayweather prefers Garcia versus Rolly Romero. However, Gibbons believes the fight that truly needs to happen is Garcia versus Cruz. Styles make fights. There have been good discussions, and we hope something comes from it, he added. With Ryan Garcia set to return in April and Cruz already training and ready, the matchup makes sense. This fight isn't about titles or weight classes, it's about giving fans what they want. Interestingly, Garcia has faced more criticism for choosing to fight Roque Ampo in an exhibition than he did for his doping allegations following his April 20 bout, sparking debate over his decision-making in the sport.